New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Good afternoon and welcome to Finding the Joy in the Journey. My name is Rev Gina and I am here and so happy to be the tour guide on this path of joy for the next hour. Here on Finding the Joy in the Journey, what we do is help us realize the joy in our life today. You know, we are that love, that peace, that joy that spirit is, and it's about recognizing we don't have to achieve something to get there. We already have it within us. So it's about realizing it and living and experiencing that joy more fully, whether that's living your purpose, whether that's appreciating what we already have, or whether it's realizing that it's time for change. No matter what, you are here on purpose for a purpose, so let's live with purpose. And today I have an amazing guest who has done just that, has gone from Wall Street to MTV and has found his purpose, created a purpose, and is really helping others do that, living on purpose. And I am so grateful for the guest that we have here today. I have Nimo Patel here with me, and he is just so inspiring. He has been on top of the world in many different ways, and now he is living in a way that is from the inside out, and I'm certain a whole lot more rewarding, but he gives back so much to the world. And we're going to talk about Empty Hands Music, which is what he's created and the foundation that has helped so many. We're going to start out. I want to just show you a little bit of a video that tells what the pilgrimage was all about, what they do and how they help and how they use music to do it. So stay with us, because right after this, I'm going to introduce him and bring him in, but let's see what he's been doing.
It's been a long time running. I never knew then, but I know now.
But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around. I feel like all my life I had been running for something else.
As for me, I'm working hard, learning the ropes of the game. I went from a nobody to lots of fortune and some fame.
I always thought I had to be living in this big house by the beach. It was about selling as much as I can, becoming famous and performing in bigger venues and concerts. And then, like, bam, all of a sudden I realized that I was on the wrong path. And coming here in India and just serving in the Gandhi ashram helped me rewire, kind of like working with the children that I consider my kids, seeing them in their environment with very minimal resources and seeing how they give. It's taught me about kindness and about selflessness. Realizing the vastness of the problems that exist in our world has been very humbling. Knowing that I'm not going to change the world. I just need to keep working on myself. As I have made the changes that I want in the outside, actually inside, the environment around me has started to get better. Kind of like Gandhiji said, my life is my message. I almost feel like right now I'm feeling the spirit of like music is my message.
Well, my heart starts sinking and I'm thinking, what's the reason why we holding back from being kind? What's the disease? But then I sense we are fine. It'll all happen. One small step.
And then as I started writing, I realized that there was this album coming together, and they were an album of a collective values.
Throw your hearts up, let it fly high, let your love for all the world spread through the skies. Let it drop down, let it all go, spreading.
Love, kindness, faith, gratitude, those are things to me that are not mine by any means. They're like beyond this earth, they're the universe's truth. And so the intention is just to offer it. Empty Hands music represents that. And it's a humble offering, so people may not even care about it. People may not listen. And some people might really align with it. And to me, it's like, good, well then this is yours.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're a spark, you're fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
All
is
that
a gift.
I am.
When I see the videos, I'm just moved because all the people across the world in one video, and the lyrics of the song are so inspiring, and Gratitude song has taught me each and every person in our life is such a precious soul.
I can just complain and moan, but there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
I've been moved by the humility of it, because he doesn't expect anything in return. It's just giving. It's not about money, it's not about notoriety. It's really just saying, I am a conduit of this gift. You're an instrument for change, ultimately. It changes the frequency of your life. And why wouldn't you want to listen to music that does that? I want to listen to it every morning.
There's so much negativity in our world around us, and Empty Hands music spreads all that is positive and reminds us that that's there inside ourselves.
Everything I feel and everything I feel.
It's just a beautiful parade of love that hits your ears and just captivates your soul.
And everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything.
And so many people have responded with so much positive energy saying, your words and your songs really mean a lot to me. I felt like, wow, well then this is like a perfect time to take a pilgrimage with the music. And it's not about being a performer going on tour, but more of being a human being and sharing these songs and these messages, having an evening where local musicians also come in, storytellers, people that are everyday heroes in the community, and songs that string together the themes that all of these people are living by.
What does it mean to live with courage? What does it mean to be compassionate? Who are those heroes of generosity? These were the things that Nimo really wanted this evening to be about. That rededication, to the values that we each hold dear. And there's no better way to do it than through song and stories.
Sitting next to the path, trying to unfold it, waiting for the fruits to fall down towards you. Let it go, and now you're flowing, feeling quite gorgeous. You take steps away instead of towards it.
A fruiting tree, when it knows it's its last season to give, gives the most it ever has in its entire lifetime in that season. Trusting that my seeds will live on.
We've been taught that what you touch will always turn to gold, and now we're learning when we let it go, it overflows with no credit to take, cause no credit is home. A higher power working deeper where the seeds are sown, and when the seeds are true, then they're seeds of gold. But the real gold is joy when life starts to flow, and when it does, you just smile cause now you know.
Any music that can make little kids all the way to elderly who don't actually speak the language being sung move and groove and smile and love, that's world peace right there. It's like Merry Christmas, eggnog, happy birthdays, anniversaries, and like seeing a loved one after 30 years, all wrapped up in one tight bow that is Empty Hands music.
Whatever grows
grow. Whatever dies will die. Whatever works will work. Whatever flies will fly. Whatever fails will fail. What's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds.
We are so busy behind getting power and behind getting money that we are forgetting why we are here. At last, we all have to go from this world empty-handed. But that joy of spreading kindness and spreading gratitude is something that you will keep in your heart and mind till the time you will die.
Let it grow, let it grow. Whatever dies, it dies, it dies. Whatever works, when it works, it works. Whatever flies, let it fly, let it fly. Whatever fails, it fails, it fails. To soar, will soar. Let it soar. I am planting seed and nothing more.
I really love this concept that we come to this world empty-handed and we leave empty-handed. And it kind of sums up the timeline of our being on this planet. And so if that's the ultimate truth, then how really are we going to be using the time while we are here? And so then the messages I feel like that are coming out in the music are my answer to that question.
Definitely answers indeed. I am so grateful to introduce this wonderful human being that has changed his life. Yes, has an Ivy League education from Wall Street to MTV rap star. And at some point along Nimo's journey, he realized that he was walking a path of suffering and that the only path to light was through selfless service to others and to his own internal purification. For the past 10 years, Nimo has been serving and working with the underprivileged community in the Gandhi ashram in India. And most recently is connected to his roots of music and is offering this gift of love, peace, and oneness through his songs, an offering that he calls Empty Hands Music. So I introduce you to Nimo. Welcome Nimo Patel. Welcome to Finding the Joy in the Journey. And you are absolutely a brilliant example of doing just that. When you realized what you were doing wasn't giving you what you really needed or wanted in life, you went searching and you found something else. So tell us about it. Tell me, how are you right now? I know, where you are. You're actually, isn't it like 1 a.m, your time right now?
But first of all, Gina, thank you for your warm introduction. I like to say many times that, a lot of introductions for people are quite elaborate and full of whatever people might have accomplished, but that's all aside. It's kind of like the love that pours from somebody like yourself. That's the warmth. That's the beauty of something like that. So I really just want to embrace that warmth that you share. I'm sure it's not just with me, but with so many. So thank you for having me. Where am I? How am I? I'm doing great. You know what I was thinking, Gina, is that video, we shot that in 2013, okay? So there was this girl with green pants on that she was in the beginning of the video, and I also lifted her up like with my arms. So I was just with her for the last 3 hours and now she's like, how old is she? Jagruti is like 16 years old. Back in that video, she was like 8 years old or something. I don't even know. But I was just with her because I'm trying to get her back into education. She quit school like 6 months ago. And when you asked me the question, how am I? Actually, it was so fulfilling for me to just spend the last 3 hours with her, trying to get an evaluation test done by a teacher to see at what level she's at, so then we can start giving her more private tuition education, because she wants to get back into schooling. And her life situation is horrible. Mom's passed away. Father's a drunk and is not at home most of the time. So her neighbor supports her, and her cousin brother has come from the village to live with her. But to me, this is the joy for me, Gina, is like getting a chance to be a part of so many of my children's lives, and I'm not talking about biological children, but just getting that opportunity to be a big brother. That's the joy for me. And I felt it this evening, feel it every day with the blessings with the work that we're all doing here together. But I'm feeling enjoy, like you said, enjoy in the journey.
And it's so, we're taught in society that we're supposed to want certain things. We're supposed to achieve certain things. We need to act a certain way and have security. And if there's anything we've seen with the stock market crashes and COVID-19, there is no security. There is no, what's meant to happen will happen, and we have little control over what we think should be. I mean, between natural disasters from fires to floods and everything in between, there is something bigger than we are, and we can be in the flow of it or not. And it's about aligning ourselves in the flow and being right here now. One of the things that struck me so much in that video, moved me. I have watched it at least 3 or 4 times, and it just amazes me, the wisdom that is available to us. The tree that knows it's its last time to give, gives everything. And that's what we're here to do. We're supposed to live our life with nothing in reserve. We're meant to live fully, because we don't know what tomorrow brings. Give everything we have. And it's not just about money. While money is important because it allows us to help and do and give in different ways in places we couldn't be. I am not in India at the ashram. I can't help the way you are helping. But, by donating, because you actually have a 501(c), it is tax deductible. It gives people an opportunity to be there to allow you to help that young girl create a life for herself.
Absolutely. And I was like one step more. It's like we all have access to being kind wherever we are at. And to me, there's no better service than that. Like, 1, be kind to ourselves, and 2, then we have access to do that right around the corner, no matter where we're at. And that's service number 1.
We are here, as Gandhi said, to be the change we wish to see in the world. We are meant to be that. We're all looking for somebody else. Another thing that was said was, you talk about everyday heroes, and you have a song that actually it's a superhero that's already out, and you did it with COVID-19, and you did it during that time frame, and it's wonderful. So I encourage people to check out the video. And again, that's superhero, but there's a new version of it, you said, coming out next week.
Yes, we're excited about it because the original version that we wrote was geared towards exactly that, this idea that we don't need to be a superstar. We don't need to be in India or in some other country doing a project or serving or volunteer. It's like we are superhuman. All of us are, and all that means is being aware and compassionate and acting upon that intuition to serve, to love, to give wherever we're at. And so this video is really a chronicle of the power of everyday heroes, of the capacity to just be kind and compassionate wherever we are. And that's to me, what's exciting about this song and the music video is just that message to me more than anything, because that, I would say, is one of the ultimate messages for Empty Hands music. And yeah, so we did release something earlier because what we went through during the beginning stages of the coronavirus was very unique for us as a humanity, for this generation of human beings. And so we felt like we had to kind of do a remix of this song and music video for that moment in time. But now finally we're getting the chance to release the original intended video and song, which is releasing on Spotify and Apple Music and all those platforms this Friday. And then it's releasing on YouTube as the original music video on next Tuesday.
And I'm going to put up your website, emptyhandsmusic.org. And there's an entire page of links to your different songs and videos. So I encourage people to absolutely, take a look at you. You have all kinds of information, as well as your contact information if anyone has questions, but also a way to donate. And I want to encourage people. One of the things that I remind myself of, when I'm not feeling as prosperous, or if there's moments that I'm saying, well, I give to this, and I remind myself when it comes down to it, $10 for us may be a trip to the coffee shop. It may be literally just stopping off and getting something quick. Meanwhile, $10 in, where you are can help change someone's life. It really is that dramatic. It can feed a family. It's not about, as opposed to, a cup of coffee, it's just setting up even $10 a month. That's something that most people can do. So whatever you're capable of, it's something. It's putting your intention. It is like smiling at people and saying, yes, I care, you matter, and we can do what we can do. It's not about doing everything, but we can do something. And where we put our money, especially in the society we're in the United States, that says a lot about where our values are. What we value, we spend on. So is it just about entertainment? Is it just about what I think I need? Or how about the security so that I have down the line? We don't know what is down the line. And, I know that my divine source provides. So what am I called to, and what can I do now to make a difference? And that's how we can live our life, or we can live in that place of scarcity. And a lot of us do. We're waiting, well, when I have more, then I'll give more. But the truth is, fear blocks. So the law of circulation is, when I give, I receive. That one tree, one tree bears many acorns, and each one has the infinite possibility of an entire forest.
Right.
So it's a question of, what are we paying forward so that we are circulating and allowing ourselves to give out to the world? I love the background. I always use this one because it's that magic dust, because we have that. And like you said, kindness. It doesn't need to be the grand stuff. It's the, I just got a call from somebody that needed to be heard. It's reaching out to people who needs to be heard, who needs to know that they are loved.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what was it like going from Wall Street and MTV and all of that? And how did you find yourself to where you are?
I'll give the quick version because that just saves time. But I when I was working in New York, I had seen a play of 14 children in New Jersey. And these children happened to be from India, from the Gandhi Ashram, from the nonprofit organization, Manav Sadhana. And that really moved me, because they did a show on the message of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Gandhi, this message of unity and nonviolence. And I was taken back because I just didn't expect to see that type of show from these children, from these communities. And I'm like, how the heck did they even get here to America? And that really planted a seed in me, just like, there's got to be something more than to what I'm doing. And then literally within a year of my working there in the World Financial Center down, in South Manhattan, 9/11 hit, and everything. I mean, I was living a block away from the Trade Center. I was working in one of the Trade Center buildings, and when this happened, that shifted, all of our lives. But it just planted a seed.
You were working in the building.
I wasn't working in the North or South Tower. I was working in World Financial 5, which is World Trade 5, which is right across the street from North Tower. But it just made me, again, look at life and say, what am I doing? How am I using my life? Because it's not guaranteed. And I just saw it right in front of my eyes, saw thousands of people, leave in a moment. And that made me quit. So I think these moments along our journey that kind of post a mirror to you and say, hey, what's up, man? How you living this life? And, what are you doing with it while you're here? Because, like you said, we're not not guaranteed tomorrow. I think these moments kept nudging me to dig deeper and to ask, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And eventually, I think at a point where I felt kind of in a space of like, I reached a goal that I really wanted to, it was the same moment that I was questioning, like, I don't feel that contentment and that purpose. And that misalignment there kind of pinched me pretty hard and saying, then what are you really doing? What are you running after? Which made me kind of quit all the projects I had been working on, whether it was music or media, my entertainment business, and put things aside and take a step into the wild, which was like, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I decided I'm going to go volunteer for a year and see what that meant and see what I could learn from that and see how I can grow as a human being. And that has led to me being there for the last 13, 12 years or so. And I've been living here and serving with the community, an NGO called Manav Sadhana. And it's been the most powerful experience, most fulfilling experience in my life. And it's not about me helping others. It's really me feeding my own soul. That's all it is. And in that, like you said, in the giving is the receiving, and in the receiving is this gratitude that overflows in wanting to give whatever we can, whether that's through music, whether that's through washing dishes, whether that's through trying to hold one child's hand and help them walk their life journey, whatever it is. It's just kind of saying, this is a joyful way of living. I'm good. I do find deep joy in this way I'm using my 24 hours, and I feel blessed, you know.
You're living your purpose, your dharma. You realized why you're here. It's got that. And it's fulfilling. You know, we live in a society of bigger, better, faster, more. And nothing is ever enough. If you have a house, you need a bigger house. If you have a car, you want the better car. It's like, I went on a vacation. Well, when's the next vacation? If your life is wonderful, you're not living for vacations. You're living for your life, not to escape it.
Right.
So it's looking at life in a completely different way. What did your family and friends say when you said, I'm going to stop everything, I'm going to take a year to just give back?
I mean, I think the first year they were fine with, because they're like, this guy's just, but I think it was more like the second, third, fourth year that was like, wait, what are you really doing, dude? And I think there was, you can feel it. There was skepticism, and there was like, is this really what you're trying to do? What are you trying to prove? Is it sustainable? You know, and then I think fifth, sixth, seventh year was like, oh, wow, you know, you're really making a difference. You're really teaching us something. You're really, living your purpose. You're really doing something that we all wish we could possibly do or feel. We wish we could feel that way as well. And then, continued just love and support from everybody. And it's been a blessing. I think it's been a beautiful, and I couldn't do it without all the love and prayers and blessings of everyone. So it's been really an awesome journey with so many people's blessings.
You truly live with a grateful heart. It is clear in what you do, and the message that you have is precious. And I would love to play one of your videos. And actually, that's probably one of my favorites is Grateful. So that's the one I have. Okay. And I'm gonna play that now. And
I have to share a story, Gina, because this to me is like such a magical story of one of my dearest souls. So Grateful, in this Empty Hands album that I had created in 2013, Grateful was a song that I had co-created with my buddy Daniel.
Daniel Naimod, by the way. Many of us know them, but I want to make sure people know Daniel Naimod, that is a musician, New Thought musician who's wonderful.
Oh, everybody knows Daniel. So a close friends of mine, by their organization, nonprofit's called Service Space, and they have a sister org called kindspring.org. They were doing a 21-day gratitude challenge. in 2013, leading up to Thanksgiving. So it was like the last day of the 21 Day Gratitude Challenge was gonna be Thanksgiving. And they were like, you know, Nimo, you should create a song on gratitude. And there was kind of a joke because we had just done the kindness challenge 21 days prior, and I had created a song for that. And then we quickly snapped up a music video for that and we put it on. And so they were just kind of joking, saying you should create a song for the gratitude challenge because there are like 13,000 participants across 80 countries that are involved, and it would be such a gift. And so I was like, yeah, whatever, you know, we can't just make songs on demand. But then I was like, I told Dan, I was like, Dan, let's, because we had worked on one song already together. I was like, what do you think? Let's work on this possibility. And so we did. You know, again, it's all like, it's not up to us. It's like whatever blessings that come together that allow for whatever to unfold. So then we created this song like 6 days prior to Thanksgiving. It finally came together. And we had another 5 days for this possibility of putting a music video together. Okay. So here I am in the city that I'm here in India. And I was in my apartment and I was like, man, I need to find somebody to help me shoot a music video. And so I asked one of my friends, Madhu, and he's like, no, I probably wouldn't be able to, but have you met Ellie? And I'm like, who's Ellie? And like, Ellie don't sound like an Indian person's name. I'm like, who's Ellie? He's like, oh, she just came here from Washington, D.C. She just moved into the apartment on the second floor yesterday. I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, yeah, she's a filmmaker. I was like, no way.
Of course she was.
Yeah, of course she was. So I get introduced to her. She's here on a Fulbright scholarship, and the story and synchronicity of how she ended up here is amazing, but I'll skip that. I asked her, I'm like, we're creating this music video for a song called Grateful. I wanted to know if you'd be down to help out. She's like, oh, well, I'm leaving on a trip right now to another city, but I'll be back after. And then I was like, oh, well, that's going to be too late. She's like, well, you know what? I can skip the trip. I'll join. Let's do it. And so she says yes. My other friend Sachi from Mumbai says yes. And then we send this email out to friends and family around the world to say, hey, we're shooting this. We need you to shoot some video footage of you singing the chorus and just send it back. We only have 2 days to kind of get it all together. And so all of this kind of just, you know, of course, happens within a few days. We shoot the video, we put it out there, and it really connects to people's hearts. And it was so beautiful. You know, Ellie and I, since then, have made, I think, 13 music videos together. And we love working together. We love co-creating together. And it's been such a blessing, but it's like you said, you know, and so it is.
It's all spirit. It's all spirit working and weaving exactly what we need. When we are in the flow of divine, everything we need is possible. When we're trying to figure it out with our own, you know, with our own mind and our own ways, it doesn't work. We have to allow the flow. And that's where we want to be, you know, tapped into and tuned into. That's where we get to be when we are living from the inside out instead of trying to create the picture on the outside. So let's play this. It's absolutely wonderful. Here is Grateful.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hand, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that
all that I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing
saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
All
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all.
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan. But there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
And everything I see, everything I hope, and everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am, and everything I see, everything I hope, and everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am, and everything I see, everything I hope, and everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am, and everything I see, everything I hope, and everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing.
You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
Beautiful. Yes, everything is a gift. It truly is. And I want to just put a shout out to Daniel Namod, whose album just released this week. His new album is entitled Nobody really uses albums anymore, but his new CD is called Real, and it's wonderful as well. So we'll just put a shout out for him.
Absolutely. Excited to hear it, to listen to it. His music, I mean, he's one of the most inspiring artists for me, and his Water album is, to me, one of my favorite music albums in the world. And yeah, on this album, him and I had a chance to work together on a song called Middle Ground on his new album. So excited for everyone to hear all of his new work. It's exciting. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, we are so blessed in this movement of New Thought that we have amazing artists that are so giving. CSL Greater Boston, I'm the spiritual leader of it, and he there's so many of you. We're a smaller group, and especially with all that happened in COVID, when things got crazy, you allow us to play your music, and it allows us to still celebrate music and that message and the positivity of it. And there are so many that give so much. And I just want to say thank you to all of you, because it allows us to keep it all going in a way that we couldn't have otherwise. And it's not a given. Your average entertainer does not do that, doesn't give graciously of themselves and show up wherever asked of themselves. And we have some really wonderful musicians in New Thought that are really here for the message and the purpose of it. And it's very inspirational to me.
That's awesome.
So thank you.
It takes a village, like they say, it takes a village to spread that love.
Thank you.
Together.
Yes, thank you. And so tell me about your organization. What is it that Empty Hands does? I know that it works with underprivileged children in the slums of India, and I know that. But how does it work, and what does it do specifically? How do you help?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways. Like over in India, we Empty Hands Music is partners with an amazing organization here called Manav Sadhana. And, you know, personally, I get deeply involved in our arts related projects with our children, with underprivileged children. We work in 7 different slum communities that range in population from 20,000 to 120,000 people that live in these very densely populated, poor sanitation. You know, it's I don't know if we have something to compare similar to in America, but in third world countries like South America, Africa, Asia, there are these communities that are really difficult to live in, and it's people living in 5 by 10 homes, or shanty towns, or things made of brick and plastic and sheets, and these communities are where we're trying to serve, to provide holistic education, love, support, nurturing, so that the children don't have to live the same lives their parents had to go through, and there's nothing wrong per se, except that these families are just economically in a difficult situation. They've migrated from the villages for a better life, and to look for something in the city, and they have to squat on land to kind of survive and try to make each day kind of to get by. So yeah, we provide, I mean, ultimately we were just trying to provide love, but with that comes so many different things, from academia and academics to sports to arts. Some of the highlights of the work that I've done with Empty Hands Music and with Manav Sadhana has been, a couple shows that we've created, one in 2012, one in 2019. And it was a journey of going on a day-to-day journey with like in 2012, from 2010 to 12, it was this selection of 16 children from our different slum communities that we ended up creating a musical together about the oneness of our planet. And then we ended up performing and touring that show around the world with these children. And then similarly in 2017 to 2019, I helped direct and create another show called Jai Jagat, which means victory to the planet. And it was another journey of just walking this day-to-day journey and trying to practice living these values together with our children. And I had selected 17 children for that show, and had a beautiful team of mentors with me also. And we just went on this journey of creating this show, practicing how to live by these values, and being a family together. And then once again, with the blessings of so many volunteers and people from around the world, we did a 2-month tour in 2019 before COVID hit. And we were blessed, where the kids performed on some of the biggest stages in America and in the UK, and really brought the house down in the sense of inspired so many people, what it means to be a better human, what it means to be kind, what it means to see each other as one being instead of judging, what it means to love our planet. These were all the messages that were in this show that we had developed over a period of 2.5 years. And it's exciting. Actually, I was just messaging our kids today from that show, from the 2019 show, that we're all getting together on Friday to celebrate Diwali, which is, the Indian or Hindu New Year's out here in India. But it's the kids are, they're grown up 3 years older than from when we did the show. Obviously, we're in touch quite often, but, the show was the show. The tour across the world was a big, amazing thing, but their day-to-day is their life situation hasn't changed. The focus now is their education journey, so that they can change their physical life situation. And so it's always exciting to kind of, just keep walking this journey together. The kids from the first tour, 2 of them have finished their master's degrees in science, one in toxicology, one in clinical research. Others are engineers, one's a graphic designer, one's a nurse. Everyone's doing different things, but
how rewarding for you. It must be so rewarding for you to know that you have helped influence their lives in a way that now will ripple down not only into their families, but also their communities.
Their communities.
Given
That's
hope,
right.
and you also created, full circle moment, you created what changed your life, because those seeds were planted by seeing children just like that put on a play. And you thought, who did this? And you did this. You did that now for how many other children and how many other people? So you get to put that ripple out into the world that worked so well for you. So, I mean, when we talk about leaving our planet better than we were, you know, I love what you said also. And I love this quote you had said, we arrive on the planet empty-handed. We will soon leave empty-handed. So then how do we want to spend the time in between? So you are fully living in a way that is giving out to the world. You are spreading those seeds of kindness and love and empowerment everywhere you go. And I can't imagine how fulfilling that is, as opposed to filling the bank account. You're living that fulfilled life now.
No, it feels, and I feel humbled and blessed to even have to get a chance to walk on this path. You know, it's like, I couldn't have chosen to be where I'm at, and I didn't want to be where I'm at. I had another dream. I had a dream of where I wanted to be when I was in high school. CEO of Warner Brothers. I wanted my beach house on Santa Monica. And I'm sure if I would have gone that route, I would have loved it and I would have dealt with whatever the cards were. But I just feel lucky and blessed that I am where I am, you know, and getting the chance to have the service family that I have, and to have these relationships with all my children and to be a part of their lives. I feel so lucky, for sure.
What a gift it is that you're giving to each one of them. And, you know, yes, it's fulfilling for you, and people that don't live on that path may not understand the difference between having a full life and a fulfilled life. Can you share a little bit about that, about what it's been for you to be in a place of, because you were very successful. You had a music career. You were doing all the stuff that would make you all the money that everybody thinks they want, and you walked away from it all, and you're much more fulfilled now than you were then. So can you explain the difference between life being full and fulfilled?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to speak for anybody else. For myself, I think, because we all have different formulas, and I don't think there is one right path. What I do like to say is that I think it's important for all of us to kind of continually just take a step back and reflect on what we are doing, how we're using our time while we're here, and what resources we have, and how can we use that for the good of ourselves and our families and for others. But for me, I think full, for sure. I think life can always be full, and life can always be busy, and life can always be active, and life can always be productive in a sense, you know, whether it's financially or on a path towards building a career. And I think those things were available to me, and I was enjoying those elements of it. But what was lacking for me, Gina, was like this sense of like smiling at the end of the day, saying this was worth it. Like the last 18 hours was really worth it. I'm so happy I spent it the way I did. So when I look at a day like that, then I would say all my days were not, with the answer, yes, it was really, really worth it. It was more like, no, I think I'm building something to get somewhere, which is great too, you know. But then at some point we have to ask, is the why strong enough? You know, it's like, why am I doing this? Does it feel purposeful enough? Does it feel like after all is said and done that, yes, that was worth it? So that was one thing. When I was asking myself why I'm doing this, I'm like, I don't know. I think it's because I had set a goal that this was what I wanted to do when I was, 10 years prior. And now that I'm here, I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh, I know I set that goal and I've kind of reached this kind of point, but I actually don't want to be here. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't. So it was like more of a clash with this ego mindset of saying, but this is what you said you should do. This is your dream. And then there was this heart, this kind of like faint, soft light saying, yeah, but that's not who you are, and that's not where you want to go. So you got to choose. Do you stick with what's supposed to be right from your old self and from what people from the outside think, or what you actually feel is truthful inside? And that requires change, which is not fun. That requires kind of shedding a lot of stuff, which may not be fun and comfortable as well, but could be the foundation for something much more beautiful, real, authentic, and sustainable and powerful and joyful. And I'm just happy that I kind of like said, let me give this little subtle light and moment of inquiry from my heart a chance, at least. And that was kind of that idea of like, okay. And then, you know, Mahatma Gandhi has this quote that people use a lot that says, you know, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And that helped me, because I was like, man, I do kind of feel lost here at the age of 30. Like I've kind of reached this point where I thought I'd be happy and I don't feel that. And how do I rewire myself? And so this idea of like, well, maybe I need to go lose myself in the service of others and see what that means, and maybe experiment with that. And I think that's been the journey since, is just experimenting in surrendering and melting myself beyond, in a purpose beyond myself, you know.
Beautiful. It's, you know, it's so important to remember that, you know, we have the 24-hour bank just like everybody else has. Any of us that woke up this morning have the privilege of this 24 hours. What are we going to do with it? And it's actually more precious than money, because we don't know how much we have. There is no, you know, so what are we doing with this concept of time? You know, how are we spending, you know, this privilege? And, you know, it's in our society too often, it's trying to get to the top of the mountain. And the truth is, there's a beautiful view every step of the way. You know, our children will never be the same age. Our parents may or may not still be here. Whoever's still in our lives may not be here tomorrow. So the view will always change. And if we're too busy, we miss the best parts. Yeah. So it's being grounded and centered in, like you said, that heart space from the inside out. You know, it's being in the world, yes, but not of it, and not missing out on that beautiful view of now.
Love it. You know? Yeah.
So is there anything new? What's on the horizon for you? What is the next project you're working on now?
Oh, yeah, there's a few different things. One is, you know, we're working on this project that I'm helping anchor, which is called Wings. And it's just a project where we're trying to tap the potential of all the children that we work with. We work with, at Manav Sadhana, we work with almost 11,000 children on a daily basis. And the idea is to really try to see which ones are striving harder or trying to push themselves, that have that potential. But in every impoverished community, there's such strong glass ceilings. So what we want to do is like, hey, this group of kids or this child or this person has this potential, has this talent, has this skill, has this drive, and how do we help them, you know, help them reach that potential, whether it's through extra support, training, classes, school, tuition classes, private education, whatever it might be, you know. And so that's a kind of a project that I've kind of taken a deeper dive into over this past year. So that's one. And then definitely working on just sharing more music. Like I said, you know, one song, the superhero song, releasing next week. In December, releasing a remix to Being Kind. In January, a new song called Together Today. In, you know, March, a new song on climate change called Granddaughter's Eyes. or April, so leading up to Earth Day. So like that, just kind of got a little schedule and flow for new music and sharing that. And other than that, small things with great love. You know, I love Mother Teresa's the quote that we might not all be able to do great things, but we all damn sure, she didn't say damn sure, we all damn sure can do small things with great love. And I think that would be kind of what I would hope to want to do over the days that I have, is just kind of dig myself into small little things as well.
Well, I'm so grateful for all that you give to the world and all that has come about because of the gifts that you have, and you're recognizing that you could give them in a different way. So thank you for that example in the world. Thank you for your music. It is truly a gift. The message, all of them are just amazing. And I encourage people, again, go to the website. There's a lot of great information. There's a way to sign up for a one-time donation, or if you wanted to do set up for monthly, it is a wonderful way to give to people that you may never see or meet, but it's a way of opening your heart in a different way and allowing that love to shine to those that need it. And I thank you for the example that you are and all that you give, and for your time here. Is there anything else you want to share with us? Anything on your heart before we go?
No, not much. You know, the world has, I know a lot of us feel we're in a dark space many times, and I think we might echo that more because of social media and technology and the internet and media and TV. But you know, the world has always had this darkness, and the world yet has always had so much light. And I think if we can tap the little light, the little positive, the little goodness, the little kindness in our day to day, then I think, you know, we can overcome that heavy burden, that heavy weight that we sometimes feel because of all the news and all the media and all the interconnection that we have that shares negativity. So I just want to, you know, encourage us to keep spreading and sprinkling that dust of love and kindness in small ways throughout our day that we have.
It's the only thing that's ever made a difference in the world. It's the only thing that's ever created change. So absolutely. Thank you so much. And I want to just let people know you can reach me, any questions or anything, and I can absolutely get we had to pre-record this because of the time of day. So with all the difference as far as that goes, if there's any questions that you have, know that you can reach out to me, and I will make sure you get the answers to any questions that you may have for Nimo. And again, watch us. CSL Greater Boston is on New Thought Media Network at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Sundays. And you can reach out to me anytime, even with ideas as far as if you have show ideas or any questions at all. So thank you for being here and shining your light into the world. You are truly a gift. And yeah, I can't wait to hear about Wings and all of the new things coming out. So I'd love for you to come back and join us again and give us an update on what's going on and how we can help. So
thank you, Gina. Lots of love, and to all of you out there, may you continue to shine your light. Thank you so much. Much love.
Blessings and love.